It's the society event of the season. Anyone who's anyone in London's restaurant scene is there. The godfather of cooking, Marco Pierre White, is getting married. In the city of chefs, feuds and court cases are rife. Why else would your guest of honour be high-profile barrister George Carman? But for Gordon Ramsay, it's all in a day's work.
Gordon.
For Ramsay and his former boss, Marco Pierre White, boys from council estates, society weddings are now the norm. But there's been a price to pay for their huge success. Big boys don't fight their battles on the back streets anymore, but in court. And both Ramsay and Pierre White have lawsuits hanging over their heads. With expensive court cases coming up for them both, it seems to make sense for Ramsay and the newly married Marco Pierre White to head off for a day in the country to relax. But the peace doesn't last long. They're soon receiving calls and faxes from journalists hounding them. A new, racy novel is about to hit the shelves, and it seems to be uncomfortably familiar.
The Sunday Times are haunting Marco to comment. I've already spoken to them, and I said I'd like to read the book.
Marrow appears to be based on Ramsay's former incarnation as head chef at the restaurant Aubergine. Certainly the authoress, a former underwear model turned journalist, had spent several weeks doing research in Ramsay's kitchen some years ago.
They've launched it on the back of incidents and stories and fabrication from the Aubergine.
Tiffany admits the rivalry between Marrow's two main characters, Seamus Bull and Emmanuel Koch, has been compared to that between rock and roll chefs Gordon and Marco.
It has been said that Seamus Bull is based on Gordon and that Emmanuel Koch is based on Marco, and that's simply because Seamus Bull and Emmanuel Koch in the book have a rivalry, and perhaps the most celebrated rivalry in the London restaurant world is that between Marco and Gordon, although they say that they are the best of friends now.
As the day progresses, Ramsay's becoming increasingly paranoid.
I can tell it's a bit of a stitch-up because A, I haven't been invited to the launch, and B, she hasn't even asked me for any form of confirmation.
I gather there was a muck-up with the invitations and he didn't get one, which is a shame. One shot from his dark, smouldering eyes and a woman could so easily feel her clothes falling off. Imagine his strong, broad hands grasping her waist, his Celtic features bearing down on her, his taut muscles straining underneath his shirt as, oh, their imagination could take them so much further.
Marco remains circumspect, whilst Gordon's paranoia is fuelled by calls from other chefs who've already heard about the novel.
And this thing is causing a lot of generated sort of rumours in the trade.
Someone tried to suggest that we had had an affair, which both Gordon and I know is completely untrue. As far as I remember, Gordon and I have never kissed, much to my chagrin, but there we are.
Back at home, Ramsay's wife Tana has a more cynical view of the Marrow PR machine.
Beautiful.
The kind of life, public life that Gordon has, these things are going to happen every month, every 6 months. It doesn't have any interest to me whatsoever, and to be honest, I wouldn't waste my time. I rarely read a book anyway, apart from if we're away, and I certainly wouldn't waste a holiday reading that. I think it's quite funny.
And Ramsay, like Marco, has decided that no comment is the best policy.
I don't want to go public on it, otherwise it looks like I'm a bitter individual that's slightly cheesed off that a book's been written about me. I can't be seen to be linked to that kind of story because it's quite severe.
But that's not the half of Ramsay's troubles. The day in the country is cut short, and he heads back to London to prepare for his court case. Ramsay's past is haunting him. Before he set up his own restaurant, Ramsay worked as head chef at Aubergine for the A to Z restaurant group.
A to Z is a smallish, about 10 restaurants at the last count, I think, group based in London, called A to Z because two of the restaurants they own are Aubergine and Zafferano.
A to Z also owned L'Oranger, which was headed by Ramsay's best friend Marcus Waring. But their relationship with A to Z all went wrong in 1998.
The dispute started when Gordon Ramsay resigned from Aubergine in July 1998. And shortly after that, Marcus Waring was sacked from L'Oranger and several members of staff walked out with him. So many members of staff that the restaurant had to close for about 3 months.
Ramsay and Waring proceeded to set up their own restaurants, forming Gordon Ramsay Limited. But in January '99, activity was afoot at the deceptively calm A to Z headquarters. They were reportedly suing Ramsay for £1 million.
When A to Z issued a writ against both Waring and Ramsay, alleging that they wanted £1 million for the loss of earnings of the 3 months they were closed, and they were also alleging that electrical equipment was damaged at L'Oranger and that pages had been ripped out of the reservations book at Aubergine.
No.
And to complicate matters further, Ramsay still owned 10% of the shares in A to Z. He had investments in the enemy. But Ramsay and Waring aren't the only ones who are discussing tactics. Court mania has taken a firm grip on the city of chefs. Ramsay's mentor, Marco Pierre White, is taking the New York Times to court. He's suing them for £75,000 over allegations of drugs and booze binges. For Ramsay, who is willing to appear as a friendly witness for Marco, it's a chance to get practice in for his own court case. Over at Petrus, Gordon's best friend and business partner, Marcus Waring, fresh from winning his first Michelin star and on the quest for his second, is trying to forget the court case. He's had a string of critics and chefs visit his restaurant. He's eagerly awaiting the feedback about his food, and he's on a mission.
Marcus Waring is somebody that, to be honest with you, is starving hungry to win 2 Michelin stars. I'm obsessed with cooking at the moment. Petrus is, I think, going to be one of the most exclusive dining rooms in Great Britain in time. I intend to make it that. I want it to be talked about throughout the world.
But there's more conflict in the Ramsay empire. Marcus faces a staff dispute involving Christophe, the restaurant manager, who's allegedly assaulted barman Saeed. Christophe denies the allegations.
I left the kitchen to meet Gordon for a meeting late one evening, and Saeed had done something that Christophe didn't approve of. Christophe sent him down to the kitchen and followed him downstairs. When he got there, he verbally ripped through him, swore at him, called him all the names under the sun, I believe, and then eventually punched him quite hard in the chest.
He abused me, he pushed me, he strangled me, he threw my bow tie, he did everything.
Faced with a choice, Marcus leaps to Saeed's defence.
He is 54, he's not as fast as everybody else, and he does make mistakes, but there again, don't we all?
When a waiter smashes a glass, or when a plate gets broken, when a customer complains, I feel very sore inside. I feel really upset because it feels like a part of me is going away.
But allegedly, there have been other incidents.
Saeed made a mistake, and Christophe made him stand outside for 3 hours in the freezing cold, opening and closing doors, a door, but must under no circumstances should he walk into the restaurant. I've come into the restaurant until Christophe said so.
I was suffering for many months. I don't know, maybe he didn't like my face or he didn't like my personality, or I don't know, because he was treating me very badly.
I was brought up to respect my elders, no matter who they are or what they do. They're your elder, you don't treat them like dogs.
But the problem with Christophe actually got a lot more personal.
Amongst other things, there was a clash between Christophe and I. He seemed to think that he was of an equal status to me, which was never the case. I am a partner here, patron, whatever you want to call it. My partner is Gordon. I don't work for Christophe, but Christophe works for me.
Unfortunately, it's not my own business, and unfortunately, you know, well, it's, you know, I'm just working it. But I come here every day like if it was my own little restaurant, and I deal with it as if it was my own money coming in and my own money coming out.
He took it on Saeed, which basically terminated his employment.
Restaurant service continues as usual, but the staff have a tough act to follow in the face of Marcus's quest for perfection.
Christoph's professionalism, i.e. the way in which he graced the tables, the way in which he cleared them, his passion for food was incredible. That will be missed, there's no two ways about that.
So Saeed stays, Christoph, who'd resigned already, goes.
Saeed's still standing and is still in my bar today. Christoph's now outside my restaurant, outside looking in. That's his loss, not mine.
Meanwhile, day 2 for Marco, Pierre White and Ramsay in Marco's ongoing battle with the New York Times. After a day in court, it's time for Ramsay to start the night job. Over at his restaurant, the kitchen has undercurrents of tension. Dissent is growing amongst the rising stars in Ramsay's ranks.
I started pulling on the leash some days.
You have to prove yourself to him day in, day out, and it never lets up.
Sous chefs Neil and Sarge have worked with Ramsay for years, but they aren't happy. They want the promotion they think they deserve, but they're not their own bosses yet.
We start working as a team, yeah? Because anyone wants to go and work on the road, you know what they can do? Fuck right off, hey. And I can't wait to see them on the road, yeah. They're all big fucking shiny stars, yeah, we'll see. When you build them to a level, in their mind, they've got to go on and do something better than they're already doing.
Ramsay's team is the new Brat Pack of cooking, and they want Ramsay to put up the funds for their own restaurants, like he did for Marcus.
My dream since I've been 8 years old really is to own my own restaurant. The idea of having a situation where Gordon would be able to set me up, as he has done Marcus in Petrus, it would be a dream come true.
You know, I look at Marcus, he went away to France, comes back, he's in the head chef position. Mark went away to France, comes back, he's in the head chef position. Neil goes away to France, comes back, he's a sous chef again. You know, it's no big deal, but it's, you know, sometimes, you know, when, say you're on a down or, you know, on a bad day or something where you get out of bed on the wrong side, you know, these things churn over in your mind.
But Ramsay's stuck. His restaurant seems to be doing incredibly well, even attracting top celebs and people like Liz Hurley. But actually, the pressure of his court case with A to Z and the £1 million at stake are taking their toll. Not to mention the hundreds of thousands of pounds in legal fees that mean, right now, Ramsay simply can't afford to expand his restaurant empire.
Oh, quel bordel. Quel bordel. Donc, les 4 agneaux au pas, c'est bien cuit, là. Fucking hell. Talk about fucking on your own.
So at the moment, there's no way out for Ramsay's staff.
Paul, if I catch you licking that cloth again, yeah, Paul, when there's cloths there waiting to go, yeah, you can go back to fucking Gary Rhodes. Do you understand? Do you understand? Good.
Ramsay's financially strapped, so can he keep his star pupils?
It's either make or break.
And is Marcus about to take Gordon's crown?
Better than Gordon Ramsay's.
But worst of all, will Ramsay's court case break him?
Fuck off with it.
Gordon Ramsay's feeling the pressure.
Get out of the way.
And with a £1 million lawsuit hanging over his head, he has to concentrate on keeping the restaurant going and the cash coming in. But behind the scenes, the staff are at each other's throats.
I don't want you two kicking each other, saying that guy's an arsehole. Hey, do you understand? Leave him alone. Hey, young man. Simon, bring it back and wipe down the side. Because it's all pissing around everywhere. You have a look at it, Simon. Christ almighty. David, can you do it? Put it down, Simon, please, yeah? Rebuzz it now. Claude.
But even under threat of bankruptcy, Ramsay's confident that he's got his tempestuous nature in check.
Slowly. Hello, slowly. Doucement. Idiot.
I'm a lot more relaxed on talking to staff, and I feel my communication skills have got better.
No, but you don't have to say it like a prick. You just say, slow it down, yeah? I'll slow it down. And you don't have to go back to former. Just in your own fucking intelligent mind. David, just slow it down a touch, OK? Use your fucking brain, that's all, yeah?
I mean, I think my management skills have improved. They've had to improve.
You're wasting so much time. Your flop thing's done, David, and the garnish is not even ready. Work together. David.
But star pupil Sergeant Neil are feeling the brunt of it.
Neil, when it comes to the past, we haven't got time to start wiping everything. Last, yeah? Go. Especially in the middle of serving 6 main courses. Only how much can be done. One's got to check a lentil, one's got to check a fucking salted potato, and now the other one, yeah? Oh, fucking hell.
They've paid their dues, and with no promise of a way out, there now seems to be no reason for Sergeant Neil to stay and take the abuse.
I've got questions that I'm going to ask Gordon.
It's getting to the age now where I have to make that dream a reality soon, or all this hard work and effort, and it's just going to pass me by.
And Sarge, we can all rush and kick it out. Hence the reason why is closing next week. Sarge, didn't get you very far, did it? No. No. Sarge, I'm not interested in kicking anything out.
But over at Petrus, the staffing problems are now sorted out. Marcus is pulling out all the stops to make sure the food is up to his exacting standards. And it all starts rather well with some complimentary customers.
Table 15, 2 Americans. They loved it. Came to Gordon's the other night. Better than Gordon Ramsay's. Better than Gordon Ramsay's.
Marcus is eagerly awaiting one article in particular by the Times critic Jonathan Meades. And Gordon's already had some inside information.
Jonathan took me aside and said, Gordon, whatever you've done, Petrus, you have created a monster because it is exceptional. And that's some of the best food I've ever eaten. There's only 2 chefs ever in this country to be given 10 out of 10, and that was Marco White and Raymond Blanc.
But for Marcus, there's a third top chef in Britain who taught him everything he knows.
If there's a standard in which I look for in any kitchen throughout the world, throughout Great Britain, it would be Gordon Ramsay's kitchen.
But with Ramsay besieged by problems, is this the moment when Marcus will overtake him?
If I surpass that and go further, even better.
It's late Friday night London, but the city of chefs is still wide awake. Gordon and Marcus go to get Saturday's papers for the Jonathan Meades review.
Yeah.
They go to their favourite late-night haunt in Chinatown, with Marcus's brother all braced for the results.
You go first. Oh, shit. 9, well done. Well done.
What have you got?
9. It's very good, well done. Well done. Well done.
The Times has given Marcus a staggering 9 out of 10 and describes Petrus as, quote, without exception, sheer bliss. Everybody seems happy, but can Ramsay cope with a rivalry?
Of course I'm going to be slightly cheesed off if I'm sat there 10 years down the line, I still haven't won 3 stars, and Petrus rolls in 3 stars. Naturally, I'm doing something wrong.
I'll always be his pupil. In his mind, he'll always see me as his pupil. But at the same time, he sees me also as his partner, his business friend, a guy he goes out and has dinner with.
Okay.
Marcus is spreading his wings, just as Gordon did when he trained with Marco.
I'm a great believer in life that you pass on your knowledge. You know, in many ways, I've passed on the baton to Gordon. I've stepped down, I've gone my own little way in life, and it's now Gordon's turn. And one day Gordon will pass that baton on to somebody else, and that is the way of the world.
People said to me once that what are you, Gordon Ramsay's shadow? But by being Gordon Ramsay's shadow and his friend, Christ, look what he's created.
But does Marcus have this to look forward to? For top chefs, the sky really is the limit. With an ever-expanding number of restaurants across the capital worth millions, Marco Pierre White has achieved what all chefs aim for. But Ramsay stands to lose that dream. On the day of the verdict, the paparazzi gather. Marco has won his court case against the New York Times and been awarded £75,000. But the pressure is still on for Gordon, and he stands to lose $1 million in his battle with A to Z.
That's unreal. He doesn't know how lucky he is, no?
With only a few weeks to go before the A to Z trial date, the City of Chefs congregates to lavish awards upon each other at the annual Katie Awards, the Oscars of the food industry. The Katies are also a chance for Ramsay to finally get one up on Marco. Ramsay has been nominated for the past 3 years for Chef of the Year, an award that Marco never got. And behind the smiles, the City of Chefs can be bitchier than the theatre.
And it's a big award, and they all sit down and say, "Hi, how you doing? Nice to see you." Shake your hand, and they're all full of shit. The minute you go for a pee, they're backstabbing you or slagging you off somewhere along the line, or here's that outrageous chef again that treats his staff like a big bully.
The moment that Ramsay's been waiting for finally arrives.
The Chef Award is one of the most keenly contested and widely talked about. The judges say it's the most coveted title in chef circles. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Caterer and Hotel Keeper Chef Award for 2000 is Gordon Ramsay.
But at the moment of triumph, Ramsay's thoughts are with those who are not lucky enough to ever win this honour.
A great award for any chef to win, and I'm very sorry that Marco never got it.
With one up on Marco and his bad boy image intact, all Ramsay's got to worry about now is that £1 million lawsuit.
I have to be very careful now what I say. Now I've been given the award, that makes me shut up even more now. So it's...
With very little time to go, the A to Z trial looms large on Gordon's horizon. It's not a good time to get on the wrong side of Ramsay.
His shoes, yeah, I've seen the binman with smarter fucking shoes. Look at them. Yeah, get outside. Enlève 14, go. Yeah, look at the state of them. Dominic, they're a fucking binman.
Just another day for Ramsay's long-suffering staff. But as the boss tries to concentrate on running the kitchen, his lawyers and A to Z's lawyers do a deal.
Now, the terms of that settlement were not revealed, and there were confidentiality clauses, so neither of the two parties involved are allowed to talk about it. But it seems fairly clear that one of the things that happened was that was the point at which Ramsay relinquished his 10% shareholding in A to Z.
Gordon Ramsay may have said goodbye to the aubergine, but he's safeguarded his own empire. And he's now free to concentrate on the master plan.